why you should throw those New Year's resolutions out the window. Jed Blackwell, we are halfway through January already.
Yeah, it's right. We're right here at it. No doubt.
And this is generally the time when people's New Year's resolutions start going out the window.
I was going to say, the crowd at the gym has been looking smaller and smaller. As I drive by, I'm not going. As I drive by there, it's been looking smaller and smaller.
Yeah, it is funny that you talk to gym owners and they will tell you that they make so much money on people that buy gym memberships in the first week of January, and then they're banking on. They said, I had one of them tell me, said, if they all came and used their memberships, we would not have the space for them to come. So they are banking on you not keeping your resolutions.
Waiving the joining fee, 3-month special.
Yes, 3-month special. That is, that's the deal. So today I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to wait a couple of weeks. Let's get away from January 1st, and then let's talk about, okay, how can you really, because all a New Year's resolution is it's you saying, hey, I want to change something. That's really what it is. Have you ever made New Year's resolutions?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And how do those generally go?
Not well.
You
usually forget about them.
Yeah, you forget about them, and they're generally the same thing. Generally, we'll say things like, hey, I'm gonna get in shape this year. I'm gonna get my money in order this year. I'm gonna do whatever. I'm gonna find a new job this year. Whatever that may be. And I think we go about these things wrong. And so just wanted to spend just a quick 10 minutes talking about how you can truly have change in your life. And first thing you want to do, if you've made New Year's resolutions, is just crinkle them up in a big old ball and throw them away. Because I think New Year's resolutions are worthless.
Yeah, why not start tomorrow or June 15th or October the 3rd?
Yep. I mean, there's nothing special about January 1st. So after you've thrown those away, what you need to do is take a long, hard look in the mirror. And I'm not talking physically looking in the mirror and saying, hey, I need to get in shape. No, you look in the mirror and just look deep inside yourself of okay, am I who I want to be? Am I where I want to be? Am I accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish? And just be honest with yourself. Take an honest assessment of where am I at right now? And then guess what, Jed? What's the next most important thing about knowing where you got to know where you are? Mm-hmm. And then what's the next most important thing?
Know where you want to go?
Know where you want to go. Where are you trying to go? It's like we just got back from doing the Disney marathon weekend, and now I could get to Disney probably blindfolded. I don't need to pull up the maps, but I always do, because we go I-95 and there's traffic and sometimes it reroutes you. But the very first thing you do when you're going on a trip is you pull up the map and say, this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
And you follow the path to get there. And there are certain junctions along the way that you come into, but you follow that path to get there. And so you looked in the mirror. You've given an honest assessment of this is where I am. Then you look into the future and say, where do I want to be? And it may be, some people have done they have, I forgot who, it may have been Stephen Covey that I first read this, but it's a pretty powerful thing. Some say it's grim, but I think it is pretty powerful. They will put themselves in a funeral, where they are standing at a funeral and there are people talking about the person that's in the casket before them. And guess who the person in the casket before you is? It's you. Yeah. And it is people from your family. They're talking about your what kind of a person you were, what kind of a husband, father, brother, sister, whatever that may be, what kind of a son. Next thing, you got somebody from your professional life talking about what kind of a person you were, were you honest? Did you take care of people? Those kind of things. And, just community people, different things. They're talking about you. And the question there is, what would you want people to say about you if they were being complete? And they add this caveat: if they had to be completely honest,
right?
Not because everybody, any funeral you go to, people get up and
Yeah.
They're going to say great things about you.
Great speeches.
And sometimes you're sitting there and you're thinking, that's not the person I knew. I don't know who they're talking about, but that's not the person I knew. So if they're being completely honest, what would you want them to say about you? And so if you don't want to deal with a funeral, look out 10 years. Say, how do I want these areas of my life to change? Then after you realize what you want to see, I think setting a 90-day goal, and I think you need to set those in 4 areas. And we've talked about them before: fitness, family, finances, and faith. In those 4 areas, in 90 days, what's a goal that you want to accomplish in each of those areas? Because I think those areas, if any of those gets way out of balance, you're in trouble.
Right.
And so I think 90. What do you in your life, Jed? Where have you been successful in, like, when a time frame of setting goals? Some people say set 5-year goals, set 1-year goals, set.
I have an advantage in that area in that I used to work on deadline every day. There used to be instances several nights a week when a 50,000 circulation newspaper wasn't going to print until I was finished with what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I can meet those short-term and long-term goals. I've had success organizationally. That 90-day mark is exactly what you're talking about. The biggest projects that I've accomplished have been about 90 days away.
Yeah.
I think that's a great time frame.
Yeah. Somebody said, I don't even know who to attribute this quote to, but it made a lot of sense of people grossly overestimate how much they can accomplish in a 1-month period.
Absolutely.
But they grossly underestimate what they can accomplish in a 5-year period.
Well, I'm sure you've heard this before. Do it for 30 days and it becomes a habit.
Yes.
That month, it's going to take that month to establish that habit. But once you've established it, that 5 years, you'll be amazed.
Yep. And
no question.
Yeah, and it's these one step at a time, and that's the next thing I have is write down 3 things when you get those goals for 90 days. Write down 3 things and benchmarks that need to happen to reach that goal. For instance, 90-day goal. So let's use an easy one, which is usually almost everybody come January has some kind of a fitness goal. It may be in 90 days you want to lose 15 pounds. So if you want to lose 15 pounds in 90 days, what needs to happen? Well, number one, you need to lose 5 pounds a month.
Right.
So what needs to happen? And it may be I need to exercise 30 minutes 4 times a week. Number 2 may be I need to cut out sugary drinks except for 2 a week. I need to do. You see how simple it is.
You can narrow it down even further and lose 1 pound this week.
Yeah, and that now you're getting to it, Jed. What do we say? We say every day we close a podcast. Today.
Right.
If you're worry about today, tomorrow's going to take care of it. Do the hard things today. Tomorrow's going to take care of itself. You start. What happens is you start backing this thing back. You're like, okay, I got 90 days. I got a goal to lose 15 pounds. So I need to lose 5 pounds this month. Okay, well, I need to lose 1.25 pounds this week.
Right.
Okay, to lose 1.25 pounds, what does that mean I need to do?
I need to burn more calories today than I take in today.
Yeah, and then that's the way our minds work. They start working backwards too, and then you get to a point and you're like, oh, so really, to be able to do this, we're not talking about complete drastic change in my life. And so you do that. You write those things down and then you set those benchmarks. And then what that allows you to do is daily, you're able to make the right decisions to be able to take you to the place. Again, who determined that place we're going to? You determine that place you're going to. And what you've done, the first thing you've done, you looked in the mirror. And again, this is not just the physical representation of your body we're talking about. We're talking about everything about you. You've looked in them and said, I'm not satisfied with where I am in these areas. Here's where I want to go. And in 90 days, what will happen is you will have reached those first milestones, and then you'll set 90-day goals that are going to take you even further. And in doing this, what will happen is you will look up a year from now and you won't recognize the person when you look in the mirror. And again, we're not talking about just that physical representation of you. We're talking about everything in your life. And I've come up with a little thing that I think can help us in those areas.
Yeah.
And that's, we've talked about the great 8. What's so great about these 8 things? Again, those areas: fitness, family, finances, and faith. Those 4 areas. Every single day before you go to sleep, you need to write down 2 things that you need to do in those 4 areas, which that comes up to 8 things to take you to where those 90-day goals are. Again, don't overcomplicate it. It could be something as simple as I'm packing my lunch tomorrow. It could be something as simple as I'm going to drink only water and black coffee tomorrow. Could be something as simple as I'm going to spend 10 minutes alone with my wife. I'm going to take her on a date. I'm going to do something with I'm going to spend 15 minutes in just dedicated time with one of my daughters. I'm going to whatever that may be, in those areas: fitness, family, finances, and faith. Every night, write those things down. Here's 2 things I'm going to do in each area. The very next day, next night, when you're doing the same thing, did I do those things? And what you'll find is if you just do those simple things daily, then you're going to get to your 90-day goal. And when you reach those 90-day goals, you're going to be empowered to go to that next step and then say, okay, well, I've gotten here. What's next?
Yeah, what can we do in 90 more days?
Yeah. What's the next level that I'm going to reach? So yeah, I think that's, instead of resolutions, New Year's resolutions, let's set some 90-day goals. Let's develop a plan for getting there daily. Again, Jed, you talk about those deadlines. How did that, when you had a deadline and you had 50,000 papers that were going out
waiting,
and they're depending on you, what did that force you to do?
It taught me to write fast. It taught me to write clean. It taught me to write correctly, so you're not having to go back and make sure everything's right. It's right from the beginning. It taught me how to function within that framework of the things that I had to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and why ultimately, why did you want to do that?
And to be the best at it that I could be.
Yeah. And that is the discipline that you develop whenever you have that, whenever you're putting that timeline, and by doing that grade 8 every day, what you're doing is you are putting these things where, okay, in this 24-hour period, these are things I say I'm going to do, because those things are going to make me great at these 4 areas: fitness, family, finances, and faith. And just as you were, a great journalist, well, you worked on deadlines. Yeah. You had goals. You had these timetables you were working on. We need to do the same things inside of our lives. So crumple up those New Year's resolutions, throw them out, start today. When you listen to this, start today, sit down, look in the mirror. And we're talking about a figurative mirror here of look at your life. Where are you struggling? What are the things you're not satisfied with? Look out into the future. How do you want these things to change? And then let's write down a plan for getting those things done. And with the grade 8 really goes along with our tagline and what we say every day and the way we finish this podcast. Do the hard things today, and tomorrow will take care of itself.